Louis, he jerked off. Well, he's funny. Fuck you.
Next comic, give it loud everybody for Anthony Eugenio. We're having next comic. Very funny. Wayne Russell, everybody.
Welcome to the Open Mic Pain with Anthony and Wayne podcast.
You know what's kind of fun about starting the podcast with you is that, like normally if you start any kind of show on anything that's going to be recorded, you see like the person before they're about to be on the recording, like fucking with their hair and shit. Like, oh fuck, I gotta make sure I look good and all this kind of stuff. And you, every time we're about to start the show, you're just like, no touching, no moving, nothing. You're like, it's fucking perfect.
I got nothing.
Got nothing to fucking change.
It's perpetually prepared.
That's pretty good. That's a nice thing. I'm always worried that my fucking hair's like, oh man, I gotta make sure that it's not all fucked up. You don't gotta ever worry about that. You just like right down the barrel of the gun. Episode started. Shut the fuck up.
If I wait too long to cut my hair, I have one spot over here that just constantly sticks out like a cowlick, and I can't do a thing with it.
You gotta ask them to use the special scissors. Do you know what I'm talking about? The special scissors that they have for that?
No, I can just buzz. I just
That's
buzz.
true. Yeah,
Everything
you're a self-masturbator when it comes to haircuts.
Yep.
Yeah, they use it on me sometimes. Where I have a cowlick in the back, they have this special kind of scissors that's like it's like a crimping tool, and it's made to get rid of those. Only the old school ones get it. I think everybody else just goes, "That's your hair's fucked up." But the old ladies that cut hair do that. Where do you get your hair cut ever? Do you go to a place, or is it just always?
No, I do it in my bathroom. I bought like a $50 pair of buzzers, and it does the job.
Yeah, that's true. Damn, you save at least $500 a year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What's that, like $25 plus tip or whatever? Get a haircut now? Fuck that.
Oh my god, when's the last time you got a haircut? It's probably been like 30 years.
Yeah, it's been a few years.
Yeah, no, they're super.
My son though. Kids cuts are like $20.
Yeah, see that makes sense because they're such a man. I take my kids for haircuts too, and they know they don't have to try when it comes to a kid. Like the back of his head's like this, and it's like, who cares? He's a fucking stupid kid. Like you don't mind.
Yeah. It's like, how's that look? What do I care? I'm not the one walking around with it, and he has no shame. So.
Yeah, exactly. He's not gonna be picking up chicks. He's gonna be looking like a dumbass for about 15 more years.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So where have you been? Where have you been, Wayne? We're late.
We are late. Yeah, which is not a bad thing. I mean, we've both been pretty busy. So my oh, you son of a bitch dog just has to get a squeaker and sit right next to me.
Thank God that's a squeaker. I thought the dog just went.
So the only thing that the big thing that I've had was that benefit with Beautiful Dan and Steve York and Mona Forgione.
Yes. And this was put on by Beautiful Dan, right?
Yes, it was Dan and Granite State Generosity.
How'd it go?
Yeah, it was honestly probably one of the best shows of recent memory. It was sold out. They sold 118 tickets. A few people didn't show up, so it was a little over 200, a little over 100 people there rather. Everybody was there to laugh. It was a fundraiser, so I was a little concerned about it potentially being like we've talked about fundraisers being a little more like prim and proper, I guess. That was not the case though. They were fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome.
Everything hit for everyone. Had a great time hosting. Yeah, it was fantastic. It was a very successful event. I think they'll be doing more. So congratulations to Dan and Granite State Generosity for a show well put on.
You hosted, right?
Yeah, I hosted it. Did about probably about 8 minutes up front. Did a couple minutes right after Dan. Just because I didn't want to do any time right before Steve. So it was only Dan, Mona, and Steve. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty good.
Nice.
How about you? Where you been?
What a show. Oh, all over the world. But biggest one for me would be Margaritaville. Margaritaville. So it was pretty cool. They got a hotel, got water passes for the water park. They have an indoor water park. Took my family there, and that was like our first family vacation together because my kids suck so bad. They stayed at the hotel. They had a great time. And then we did the show. It was a Valentine's Day show, so it was on Valentine's Day. Bunch of geezers. I mean, that's who you're just going to spend $75 to go to a Valentine's Day show. There were some, younger people, but I think they were sitting at tables with the older people. So I think it was like a granddaughter and with their grandpa and all that.
Not like really, children, right?
No. Like this is how old some of the people were, is that their grandchildren were probably in their 30s type of thing. Like that level of those old ladies. Couple by themselves, which I'm like, get out of here. But anyways, so they were there. I have noticed that holiday shows have a different energy. They have they're drawing people that are like, oh, it's this day, let's just go out and see a thing. And it's not people who are going to a comedy club, that are literally looking for a show. So it's different. Like they laugh, but their laughter stops real quick and they're ready for the next joke, and it's silence while they're listening to the setups. I've had that like the last two holiday show things that I've done. But anyways, it was a good show. I wrote a joke on stage for the first time. I showed you that. That was really cool.
Yeah, I had a question about that because we haven't had a chance to talk about that. Was that literally just stream of consciousness for you, or
pretty much?
Did you have like a little bit of a setup in your head before you went up?
No, because it was. Let's say the show started. Let's say the show started at 8. I don't remember. The show started at 8. 7:50. I'm standing with Mike K at the back of the room, and we're talking, and he's like, "Oh, how's your Valentine's Day going?" I was good, and I talked about how my wife is a florist, and he's like, "That must be nice. So you don't have to buy her flowers?" I was like, "No, opposite. I have to buy her really nice flowers because she knows about flowers." And he's like, "Stop." He's like, "You have to riff of that on stage." He's like, "I don't care what you do. Just go up first thing, talk about that, figure out what." He's like, "There's lots of funny in that." He's like, "So just talk about that stuff." And then I was like, "I'm gonna fail then. Like, I'm not gonna go up and randomly talk about something." He's like, "Then go into your material. Who cares? They'll buy in after the material starts. You're an opener. It doesn't really matter." Which is true. It doesn't really matter. They don't remember you. But anyways, so I went up and I just started talking about it, and I got, I think, a pretty good joke out of it.
You had a lot of good reactions to that. It was a great joke.
Yeah, I don't know if
right off 10-minute notice or whatever.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was cool because Mike, that's the only part of my set that Mike recorded. Like, he went up, he's like, "Oh, yeah, don't worry, just go riff." And I don't know, he would do this. I think he was recording me to watch me bomb. Like, you fucking idiot, you should never do that.
That's exactly what he was doing.
That's definitely what he was doing. But yeah, no, I'm going to try that joke on my next show. Like, I think it could be one that I use because it's like...
And there's so many flower holidays, too. Is it like you could do birthdays... even like Thanksgiving. You do Thanksgiving. People bring flowers for that.
And I like the idea of doing that joke around my other wife jokes because I can really make her look good in that one. Like I say snobby when I first said it, but again, stream of consciousness, I was just kind of being me. But I think if I present it more like my wife is incredibly good at flowers and I'm incredibly lazy at life. So... The punchline of the joke is basically she asked me if I got him from like a free range amazing farm, and I said no, I got him from a guy who does heroin under a bridge. And I think the second tag to that, let me know what you think of this tag. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Are you in there? Are you looking?
I'm listening.
Oh, my fucking dog.
This is Chesterfield.
Chesterfield with the fucking peanut butter on the... He always puts the peanut butter on right before we start the show. And I'm like, "Wait, can you just wait till after the show?" And he goes, no, it's 9:30. It's time for peanut butter. All right. Listen to this tag. I needed to get your opinion on it. So the way that it ends, you heard it already, which is, "No, I got these flowers from a guy who does heroin under a bridge." And he said... And if you go on Wednesday, he calls you the N-word. So I got these flowers on Wednesday. So I think that'd be a cool little tag at the end of it. But yeah, gonna try that at Steve Sweeney on Friday. That's where that's gonna go.
Yeah, we both have Sweeney this weekend.
Sweeney, baby. Yeah, I'm Friday or Saturday with him.
Very excited.
I saw because you put a link to the tickets for yours,
Yeah.
and I clicked on it. And did you click on the link and look at the seating chart thing?
No, I haven't.
So they put up a little seating chart. It doesn't show what it looks like, but to me, it looks like that they have a function room in a restaurant, and this is in a function room. And the way that they had it set up, like audio engineer, stage, all that, it looks like it's going to be like a pretty sweet
Sweet
setup.
Bob Marley performs there a lot.
Oh wow,
When he comes
yeah. So
down,
it must
he
be
goes
pretty
to
good
the Bull
size.
Run. So it's the Bull Run in Shirley. Bob Marley does. They do a lot of bands and music and stuff there. So I think it's a pretty legit place. It's wicked old too.
Canada, though, surely. God damn, is that Canada?
Yeah, it's like
right next
20
to you,
minutes from
though.
my house.
I know. You live in Canada. I'm saying from
You're way
civilized
closer to
society.
Canada than I am.
Yeah, that's true. But, all right, New York. You're close to New York.
Yes.
Yeah, my dad looked at a house at Shirley once. I drove out there. I was like, where the fuck is this place? Like, what's the closest real city to Shirley?
Probably Lowell.
And how far away is Lowell from Shirley?
Probably 25 minutes. It's about the same from me.
Come on. Really? You think so?
Yeah. It's not too bad. Maybe a half hour. You take 495, hit Route 2, and you boom right there.
Yeah, I'm just biased against places I don't know. I'm like, ooh, that place sucks. And I'm like, I've never been there. Only one time. I did look at it. Lots of woods. We went down their main street, and there was like one house. They're like, this is it. So we got, my guy's name's Fred. Lives there.
My cousin lives in Shirley.
How does he or she like it?
It seems to like it. Yeah.
I'm excited.
I don't know why
I'm
I said
excited for your show.
It brings nothing to the table. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was trying. I was like, I don't know, interview question. How does that make you feel? You do that all the time. It drives me nuts. You just say one sentence and stop. But yeah, pigeons are green sometimes.
It's a gift. Pigeons do have odd feathers. They got like the oil slick looking feathers. You know what I'm saying?
See? Done. That's
You
it.
know what I'm saying?
See, you said that absurd thought, had no follow-up. Yeah, yep, that's it. Damn, I set you up and you fucking bit right into it. Yes, my dad had pigeons. He used to raise them. And he stopped because he had this one that came out and it had a fucked up beak. And I forgot what he called it. He had I think it's Frank or something like that. Had a fucked up beak, but that fucked up beak made it so that the mother wouldn't feed it. So my dad fed it every day, like 5 times a day
Like a real
with a
bird.
syringe. Oh yeah, this is a pigeon.
No, like your dad did it like a real bird. Did it like
Oh yeah, he ate it. He vomited into its mouth, and he did other bird things. I don't fucking know. Whatever. He stuck a syringe in the stupid thing's mouth all day. Had to buy a heat lamp. Set up this whole thing, and this bird was like on my dad's shoulder all day for weeks until it got feathers and it got big and all that. And then he had to go bring it out to the coop so it could be with the other birds. And so he brought it outside, and it flew to the top of the coop, and then it just got murked by a hawk right away and taken off.
Have you ever seen the videos of like the dove releases at funerals? Like they get.
It was just like that. Yes, instant kill,
Yeah.
same way.
Love it.
My dad said he saw him get hit, and he's like, "Well, I felt a little better because I knew he immediately died because when the bird lifted him off the roof, he was like, like already."
Dude, hawks
I was like,
hawks are
"Damn."
crazy. So you were in the store on First Street, CAP, right? Before you had gone there before?
Yeah.
We had a hawk fly in there one time. I had to call animal control. I went to go to the bathroom. And I turned the corner, and there was just a hawk at the end of the hallway. And I was like, "Nope." The thing was like waist high. It was crazy.
They're huge. Yeah, you're supposed to throw, I think, like a shirt on them or something on their heads, and they just get
throw 'em a
immobilized.
baby just to get away from the thing. It was
Seriously, yeah, it would take a baby too. I love hawks. I fucking love hawks. Big black hawks. I love. I love them. No, I got a couple turkey vultures, which I thought were hawks, around me, but they are black and huge, and I guess hawks don't look like that. But man, they build like 2-story nests. They're pretty sweet. But they can like take dogs and stuff. It's a pretty scary situation.
Yeah.
Birds are crazy.
Oh yeah, I've seen videos of them like trying to pick up babies, like toddlers by the diaper. Trying. I don't. I never saw them actually take off, but.
I wonder if you get arrested for that. Like if a bird takes your baby, like because that's pretty negligent if your baby's taken by a bird. You are not paying attention.
I mean, I think you're looking for predators like ground level. I don't think you're expecting like a fucking sparrow to come down and start. You know what
Pulling off babies. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like the Black Hawk Down type of situation. Came into the night.
Yeah.
So we are we gonna do bit talk on this one?
Yeah.
Or
yeah, I actually listened to it a couple times today in preparation.
Nice. So we'll break down our thoughts on the Louis C.K. bit.
I don't know if we'll be able to put it in here. I think it's like fair use because it's like reviewing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally fair use, I think. But I think we got to talk about it and then show a clip of what we're talking about and then go back to talking about it. Like, I don't think we can fully show the clip.
Yeah, probably.
Is that doable?
Yeah, that's easy.
All right.
That's super easy.
Good. Look at that. We figured it out in real time. This is why you listen to this show. It's like when they something breaks on a space shuttle and NASA's got to figure out with a bunch of nerds in like 5 seconds.
Nerds
like, tape your watch to the...
Nerds like Jeremy.
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy. Properly Jeremy.
Yeah, what a C word.
He's such a good guy.
No, he's great. I know he's the best.
Yeah.
So nice all the time. Except pronunciations, which I mean, I get it. If you're going to get in NASA, you're probably pronouncing things properly, I guess.
Yeah. Most likely.
But he doesn't know anything. Doesn't know anything about aliens, which is so disheartening because I gotta figure this shit out. Anyways, if you want to follow along, this clip is on YouTube, and the bit is called Wayne.
I was sure, but maybe, right?
Yes. Yeah. So it's my favorite bit, I think, of all time. If I had to pick a bit, I think this is my favorite one because it's a classic structured bit that has 3 punchlines. So it's a rule of 3 joke, which is awesome. And basically, it's a premise that almost like Chris Rock style. It's a premise that you repeat throughout the joke a lot. So the idea is like there are things that sure, absolutely, but maybe. So that's the whole style of the joke. That's why I love the joke, is because just by me saying that one line, you kind of know where I'm going with the joke. Things we all agree with, but maybe. Awesome. And he repeats that before every punchline is that in there.
Right.
I think he takes that from Chris Rock.
I want to backtrack. It's actually of course, but maybe.
Of course.
Of course. And that actually
But
plays
maybe.
a part into the joke, which I'm surprised I forgot exactly how it was worded, because he does a play on that as well at one point. But we'll get to that.
Exactly. And you know what? If you are like, God damn it, guys, you're trying to talk about a bit and you already got the first line wrong, blame Wayne.
Yep.
That was Wayne's fault. Because I'll agree to anything.
Right.
But yeah, it's it's such a good idea because the way he sets it up is he says, like, most times in life you have to pick a side. You have to figure out where you believe in. And they're and just the way that he sets it up allows you to do a progressively more intense definitely but maybe type of things. Like, for instance, of course that we should protect anybody who has a peanut allergy. Jesus Christ, Wayne, with the fucking dog. So like just his asshole is next to your ear.
He's trying to get comfy. That's what he's trying to do.
Tell him to shut his dog mouth. Of course, we should protect everyone with a peanut allergy. But if we just went like this for a year, there would be no more peanut allergies. So that's the, of course, but maybe structure. And I saw this live twice. I saw him do this in New Jersey, and I saw him do it in
Lowell.
In Lowell.
Yeah, I was there.
with
I was there with you with the Lowell one.
Yeah, it was his closer for it. And it's a great closer. But it also has a point, which is pretty cool. Like the last one is, kind of about how people are... What's the word? When you're arrogantly... when you're prejudiced against something... Now Jeremy's definitely going to get me. He's screaming the word at his computer right now. He's like, you fucking idiot. Dumb. That's what I guess what I'm trying to say. So when you hypocritical. Oh my god, damn it! That word just butt fucked me. Oh
Sure did.
Man, you know what? Actually, speaking of butt fucking, how do I transition this without making it seem horrible? I was with my kids yesterday, and they were such assholes. But by the end of the day, I had developed a literal pain in my ass, like deep in my ass cheek. I pulled something, and I was like, damn, that is pain in my ass was derived from kids, from a real thing.
Yeah.
If you are with kids too long, your gluteus explodes.
Gluteus. Is that gluteus maximus?
Right?
Sounds right.
I think so. Sounds right. We should have a expert for grammar in here.
Well,
but everybody we know is so stupid.
We were going to get Jacques for nerd expert.
It would take too long. They only give you like 30 seconds on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire to do your expert. And Jacques would be like, I can't even say my name in 30 seconds. It'd be tough. I bet if Jacques has a fucking story about being on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, like, actually, I was on Regis's third season. And I bet he would do good at that. You think he's got random facts piled up in his head like that?
I think so. I know so.
Mostly just
I talk to Jacques a lot more than I talk to a lot of people. And I know he's full of information.
Yeah, about like fucking soccer and shit. He calls football. Confuses everybody in the car. He's like, oh, thank God, there's a man in here. We can talk about football. And he's like, yeah, when you're on the pitch. And we're like, oh. Yeah, I love the guy. Okay, yeah, of course.
Let's get back on track. Okay. Let's start at the beginning. You mentioned it's probably one of the... Actually, I think this is one of the comments in the video too, but I agree with it. That this is one of the best, like, setting up the premise jokes I think I've ever seen. Like, he tells you what he's going to do, and that part of it is funny, just because of the way he says it. Like, he doesn't actually say anything, like, super funny in that part of it, but just the way he says it. Very Louis-esque, with, like, the intonations.
Really good pauses.
Yeah. But the thing I loved about this joke was... After the first one, when he first says, you have this over here, the good part, the way you actually think. But then there's also this, as the of course, but the maybe. You're like, oh, I think I know where he's going with this. And you have a good idea. But then his misdirection is so good that even when he's saying the joke, you're like, oh, I know where he's going to go with that. He just turns it like left hook. And on every single one of them, too.
It's true. It's true. Like I said, the last one's about slavery and how, every great thing in the world that's ever been created has been done by slaves. Mm-hmm. This is what it is. He then goes into, like I was just talking about before, and I couldn't figure out the word because I'm dumb, is hypocritical that you are for feeling that way, but laughing at the kids with the peanuts. And just that whole idea of turning it around on the crowd at the end and then walking off on that, it's pretty cool. Because he's not walking off on his biggest laugh. That's a Chappelle thing to do, which is like your last thing isn't even really a joke. Your last couple lines, you're kind of making a grander point. Then you walk off. I wonder if that's what you get bored of, like, punchy closers. You're just like, I want to make a point on this one.
I think when
Gotta
people start to listen to you and hang on your every word, I think you might have that type of mentality.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know how much run we're going to get on talking about this joke because I think we're done with it, but it's a good joke. And
Well, no, I mean, so I didn't get to my point about the beautiful use of the of course, but maybe. So when he's done with when you think he's done with the peanut allergy part, he says, of course, we should be aware of these allergies and trying to protect these kids and all this and that. But maybe if touching a nut kills you, you're supposed to die. Or I forget exactly how he worded it, but then he backtracks on it. He goes, no, I don't believe that. Of course not. Of course not. And he turns the of course into an of course not. Because, of course not, because I have a nephew who's afflicted by this. But maybe. If we just do this for, and it was just a brilliant use of the word. And I know it's not really a callback. Well, there goes my light. Fucking dog. But, of course, I just loved the use of it. It's not really like a callback, but it's like a secondary use of the setup.
Mm-hmm. That's true. We're going to have to do a drinking game of your dog interfering with the podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
that's going to be a good one, too.
He's 100-something pound, 1-year-old doofus. So, I don't know.
Doors? Do you have doors?
Yeah.
Are you a doorless house? Do you live? Are you one of those households that you're like, we put locks on no doors?
No. I have doors. I have a door. He actually just shut it. I had it slightly open so we could leave, and then he shut it trying to bring a bone out. I didn't want to get up to open it for him so he could leave. And now he's...
What about before you start?
Well, then he would try to come in, and he'd knock. He knows how to knock.
Oh, so he knows how to knock on it. Do you know how to punch a dog in the face? This is something you could totally do.
I probably could, yeah.
You could go in front of a police station and punch a dog in the face as hard as you want. And they're going to be like, hey, easy. And that's it. That's all they're going to say.
I don't know about that.
I'm telling you. You totally could. Because your dog could take it, too. That big doofus of a dog could take it.
He's all muscle. He's a lovable... I'm glad he's as lovable as he is, because he would be a scary dog if he was an asshole.
Yeah, but get him out of there. You piece of shit. Well, you know what? I don't care. It doesn't matter. Bring the dog in. Let's have dogs on. Well, this is now a dog podcast.
So
we're gonna teach you.
So now I am now upstairs because it's fucking cold in my basement. So I have a little more distraction than normal. Just a little bit more. It's still distraction down there because I live in an old house and you can hear everything. So you can hear the dogs upstairs. But
it does look like you normally record in the hole that they found Saddam Hussein in.
It's pretty close. Very close. It's cold as hell down there.
The Iraqian rubble. Is it Iraqian or Iraqian?
I think it's Iraqi.
The Iraqi, it is.
Yep.
It should be Iraqian, right? Wouldn't you want that if you were them? Why would you want to be called an Iraqi? Americi? Do you want to be an Americi?
I think the reason is because there's not an A at the end of it.
Oh, yeah, because...
I think it has to do with the letter that they're... Because, Chinese, Japanese...
In Chinese...
Indian, American, Mexican,
say that.
Canadian, Iraqi...
Iraqian.
Iranian...
Iraka. That'd be a better name if they called themselves Iraka.
What do they call people from Greenland?
Danish Asians.
Yes, that is so wrong. That's ass backwards.
I know, they all talk like Noah Skarsgård. You're like, what the fuck is going on? They're like, make America great again. I want Greenland. I want Gulf of America. I want that too. I don't know. Would you take Canada as a 51st state? I don't know if I'd take them. That's kind of
what would they bring to the table?
There's only 50 states. Maple syrup, rock wool, which is used in cultivation. Pete Moss. They are good at that.
Nice.
Drake. No, that's bullshit. They're kind of dicks.
Sorry?
Yeah,
Did you say
exactly.
Drake is Canadian?
Drake is Canadian, yeah.
Hey, let me ask you a question. What's up with Kendrick? So I don't know Kendrick Lamar that well. However, I do notice that when he raps, he sounds like Yakko Warner
Who's Echo Warner?
from the Animaniacs.
Yeah,
You
I
know
was
what?
a Disney guy.
I'm going to send you a video of Yakko Warner talking, and if Yakko Warner was a rapper, like if the guy who did Yakko Warner's voice rapped Not Like Us, it would be the same exact song.
That was the first time I heard that song, by the way. Unless, yeah, it definitely was. I've seen Kendrick Lamar live before. He closed for Dave Chappelle at Radio City Music Hall, which was insane to watch that show. They did a Chappelle Show reunion, was what the show was called. He did like 27 shows in a row at the Radio City Music Hall with different guests with him the whole time, which is insane. But that's how big he was. And this one was the Chappelle Show reunion. So it was Neil Brennan, Donnell Rawlings, Chappelle, and they closed with Kendrick Lamar. Was like he did like a concert at the end. And man, that was insane. That was such a good show. New York is lame though. Went to the Comedy Cellar, checked that out. That was cool. Would love to perform there. What a show. What a venue. Dave Attell.
Don't you only get like
Did
3
like 10
minutes or something there if you like get up?
I mean, no, the showcase people were doing 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Attell did the least amount of time because they must have been running some kind of up against it because they lit him and he was like, why? And they were like, you gotta go. And he was like, all right, show's over.
Huh.
It's weird because it was like an 11 p.m. show, so I don't know how they had another one after.
That's wild. I didn't think somebody like Attell would ever get lit. Like I feel like he could probably just go until he's done.
It's true. It was kind of looking back at it now because I was noticing the light. I wasn't doing stand up at the time, but I was noticing the light because they were just they have a light bulb and a cage at the doorway of the cellar, and that's what they turn on. So I was noticing them turning it on for every comic, and when they did it to Attell, I was expecting him to go like, "I'm Dave Attell. Don't ever do that. I'll kill you." And he was more like, "Okay, that's I follow the rules." And he got off, and he really didn't even do material yet. He was just crowd working, just getting warmed up.
Was that before he did his latest special? I forget what it was. What the fuck was his special called?
This was like 3 years ago, and I think his special came out like a year last year. So he was probably working on the stuff that he would use for that.
Hot cross buns.
But he didn't really hot cross buns. Yeah, I love Dave Attell. God damn it!
It's amazing
talk
that he
about that a lot
only
of times.
has 2 specials.
Apparently, he's just really like they say the stuff he throws away is better than anybody's closer. Like he's just very meticulous on material. Big J Okerson, see him? 2 crowd work specials he's doing. Part A, Part B, basically.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that's coming out. It's gonna be pretty cool.
I mean, speaking of crowd work, so crowd work is very fucking hard. And I want to give you props. All right. So I want to give you props at one of the hardest times I've laughed at a comedy show. It was during the show at Sidebar. And towards the end of the show, I think it was right before I went up. So the last 3 comics were me, you, then Jacques. And right before I went up, these 2 older ladies came in, and Mike was just like, whatever. It's fucking the end of the show. Just, didn't charge. I don't think he charged them tickets or anything. They sat down. They decided to be chatty. And during your set, you have a line where you say, my wife's family is like extremely white, like Iowa caucus white. And one of the ladies, I didn't hear exactly what she said, but she said something like, "Oh, don't talk politics" or something like that. And you said, "Oh,
She groaned.
Oh, she just groaned."
Yeah, well, I said, I remember because I said I was calling some guy out because I mentioned Wonder Bread if you put it in a Ziploc bag with cookies, it makes it last 3 days longer. And some guy's like, I've never heard that. And I was like, you look like you vacation by caucusing in Iowa. That's how white you are, which is a great line. I love that line. But anyways, I heard her groan afterwards, and I was like, who groaned Iowa caucus? What? And it was one of the old ladies. And then, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so you said, what, did you vote in the Iowa caucus? She goes, no, the New Hampshire primary. And then your response was, who'd you vote for? Bob Dole? Such a random ass politician from like 1996, I think it was, or 5.
She's old.
But it was one of the funniest things and no, I don't think, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think anybody laughed at that. But I was
I heard
dying.
you.
I was dying. I was laughing so hard. I have told so many people that, and they've all thought it was hilarious. It made me laugh so hard.
The one that got the big laugh in the crowd work was when I told him, I was like, listen, stop. I know this is a dead end we're going towards.
Yeah.
Like, this is not interesting at all. That got a big laugh.
Shutting that down, by the way, too. Just like blatantly shutting it down. But
they didn't talk after that.
The other like off the cuff thing that made me laugh really hard was Jacques when he was working on this new bit, which is a little politically charged. We're in New Hampshire. It wasn't really going the way he had hoped. And he goes, listen, I know my crowd. I can smell the Coles cash. That got me so good.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, that got a good laugh. I remember that.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot more of listening, like, and if something pops up, going for it instead of ignoring it. Because I used to just ignore when anybody would talk during it and just go, power through. But I'm like, what? Shh, talk. I'll make something out of this. And at the Valentine's Day show, I was doing a joke about Mia Khalifa. Basically, there's like a famous paparazzi video of her outside walking her dog. She's wearing a mask, and her dog shits. And she goes and picks up the dog shit with the mask and throws away the shit, and she puts the mask back on. And I have a joke about how gross that is, but how I jerk off to it. So, anyways, which is funny. But anyways, some kid, after I say how hot it is that she did that, some kid in the laughs go, oh my God, whatever, the thing I try to get for it, laughs died down, and a kid in a table with his girlfriend, one of the younger ones, he goes, man, that's just like me and 2 girls, 1 cup. And he doesn't say that for everybody. He's whispering it to his girlfriend, but I caught it.
Oh, Jesus.
And I went, whoa. I looked at the kid. I was like, 2 girls, 1 cup. I was like, dude, what? And he put his head down and listened and went, no. And I was like, that's right, motherfucker. I heard you. Oh, my God. I was like, Mia Khalifa didn't eat the shit, you fucking savage. Oh man, I was so good. He was so embarrassed. He just kept going lower and lower in his seat, and I was like, "Ew."
That's funny.
Yeah, that was great. But yeah, that's why you gotta embrace it sometimes. You gotta fucking if there's a heckler, it's different. You gotta shut it down and move on. But if it's something where you catch them and you go after them, it's always funny.
Yeah, I've been also trying to be a little more in the moment and reacting a little bit more instead of being like boom, boom, boom. Here's my set. You probably actually Thursday night as well, where I did my I brought back closing with the Down for Love joke, and they didn't like the example about the fat guy, but they laughed at the cancer one, and I was just like, really, you guys groaned at the fat joke, but the cancer's okay with you? You guys are fucked up. It's just trying to be a little more in the moment and think and like paying attention to what they're reacting to and like comment, trying to be more commentary, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah,
calling things out.
Sometimes
doing that a little bit more as time's gone on since when I was at Margaritaville.
Margaritaville. Yeah,
I'm really excited for Friday. Not for you, because you're opening for Sweeney, but I'm hosting the Waterview Grill in Portsmouth.
That sounds way better.
No, but it's one of those rooms. It's like a workout room. You can try new shit. You can just kind of have fun with it, and hosting it. And at this point right now, I think there's only 3 of us on the show.
Well, you'll probably get like Jack Lynch or some shit like that.
I'm sure Jack Lynch will probably pop in. I'm sure somebody else will pop in, but it just means, I mean, there's probably just going to be a lot of time to just kind of try stuff. And I have a slew of things that I've been going through, some of my old stuff that I've been reworking, and I really want to see if I can bring it into rotation.
Good for you for like not for the new like doing the new stuff, but for being a host and thinking that way. Like, oh, I got a bunch of new shit I'm gonna try because I'm hosting. When I'm hosting, I'm like 10 minutes, I'm off, and then you're gonna have to put the real people on because god damn it, are they not gonna watch me after that?
It doesn't. It for me, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've been there twice in the last 2 months. I was there in December. I was there in January.
That's true.
Going back,
Once a
not that
month.
it's going to be the same people. We talked about that, but if nothing else, for the waitress, because the bartender rather, it was the same bartender both times. I don't want to do the same stuff for the bartender. So why not try some new stuff? I mean, I'll still do some of the stuff that I know works, but
Well, I mean, I'll do new stuff too. I don't mean that. I mean time. Like I'm like 10 minutes of time.
Fuck it. Why not? I'll do as much as do whatever needs to be done. Really, I mean. If there's only 3 of us and it's an hour and a half show and I got to sit up there for an hour and a half, I'll pull shit. I mean, for a half hour, I'll pull shit out of my ass.
Yeah, I can see that, like, in between the comics. I just don't know how to get... Like, I feel like, as an opener, fine. Like, I can do 15, 20 minutes, that's fine for an opener. If you're the first comedian, you're not going in between. But I feel like if you're, like, the host, like, you do the rules and all this kind of crap, and then you're the one that starts it... I can't see. Zach Valencia told me the same thing. He's like, when they ask me to do 20 minutes cold up front and host, he's like, I say, you would much rather see me do 12 minutes up front when it comes to a cold crowd as a host. He's like, it's just, there's some kind of rhythm in there that I think gets thrown off when you do more than that. But then you see Steve Sweeney do 20 minutes up front and crush. So what the fuck do I know?
That's pretty wild. We failed at our task. We were
Was it
breaking
fast?
down Louis, and
We did it.
Went off the rails.
Yeah, it was over. It was a good bit.
Half-assed. That was like a comics version of breaking down Louis. We half-assed that shit.
We did. Well, no one's interested in the interims to it. I just more wanted to say for a couple minutes how much I loved the bit. And I know that it'll piss off anybody out there. It's like, Louis, he jerked off. Well, he's funny. Fuck you. God damn, is he funny?
Did we talk about the... I know you talked about the hypocrite part of it. I just want to bring it back to this because this was the other part of the joke that I loved. Was how he did bring in the hypocrisy of it. Where he was talking about, like, oh, every good thing that civilization has made has been done by slaves. And he's like, oh, how did I get this microchip phone in my hand? And I forget how he worded it, but the whole idea of it was that you can either have everybody happy and healthy, or somebody can suffer an indescribable amount so you can sit on the toilet, shit, and tweet mean tweets.
It's true.
Such a brilliant but like really thinky line. Like, you're like, that's hilarious, but also, yeah, because there's somebody who fucking wants to unalive themselves. We're able to do that.
It's so easy. It's so easy to not care about someone jumping off a roof at a factory in China.
Yeah, because they have nets.
No, even if they didn't. Because, like, think about the people in the Congo, in the mines, and the, pickaxes to the back of the heads and all that to keep happening to them for our phones and batteries or whatever the hell. And again, nobody's not getting the phone. Everybody's getting the phone. Because what are you going to do? Like this fucking thing on the rotary thing? Are you going to do that? No. They're not going to do that. You're going to push a guy into a mine and hit him in the back of the head with a pickaxe. So that's kind of, I have a joke that it's hard to say because I haven't done it live yet, and I'm worried that it's almost a ripoff of this Louis joke. Because my joke is that there's a lot of things that we know are wrong, but we were always going to do them. And that kind of example I think would fit in pretty good. It's like we all know that mines in the Congo are bad, but something about batteries. That could be a funny add-on to it, but I do have to be careful because it is like I did the joke at we had a joke writing session at the China Blossom where we ate dinner and talked about jokes, and I brought that joke up, and everybody was like, "Oh, a perfect example would be slavery," and I'm like, "Fuck!" Like they're going the same direction as Louis going. So I haven't really done it since because
Yeah, I mean,
I love the joke so
once
much.
again, I forget who it was, but something many people have said. There's no premise that hasn't been done, really, right?
Yeah, but you don't want to do the same punchlines on a
You
premise.
don't want to do the same punchlines, but if you can take that spin on it and just make it your own, I mean,
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to like fuse it with my substitute teacher joke that I have because it's like a good lead into that. There's like one of the examples of it can lead into another joke, which I like when you can do that. I do want to. That is something I want to work on doing because I've seen a lot of good comics do it, which is let's say they're doing a rule of three joke. Well, when they get to the second one, they'll do like 5 minutes of chunk of different jokes going completely different directions in the middle of the joke, and then they'll come back and finish the third example of it. So it's almost like they're putting it in the middle of it.
yeah,
And that is certainly from riffing on stage. There's no other way I think you get jokes like that than just in the middle you go on a rant and you go, that was good. And you keep it there.
yeah.
But I want to write one of those.
I've been kind of, putting together what I think I want to do for the Sweeney show on Saturday. It's almost like a puzzle, like putting your bits where you want them and how they can lead into one another. And I always had my 1, 2, 3 punch of jokes of like I kind of talk about my my hair loss and then my weight gain. And then how my hair loss and my weight gain made me paranoid about my health, and I go into my mom's throat cancer joke. But I have things that I've written since I've been doing it that way that like they move in, that they work together. You know what I mean? Like I can talk about gaining weight and then talk about the beer neck joke, right? Or I can talk about my hair loss and then go into like my wife catching me shaving. And it almost comes out the same, like what you're saying, where like I'm talking about this, going into like a little diatribe over here, and then talk about weight gain, then go into a diatribe over there, and then circle back to hair loss and weight gain, make me paranoid, and then at the end of that, with my mom's throat cancer bed, her dying, and then I have another diatribe about celebrations of life and not funerals and the shit like that. So stuff that I've written, it's fun. It's fun taking things that you've written and seeing how they can fit with things that you've been doing for pretty much since we started, I guess. I mean, those are some of my first jokes that I wrote.
It's true. Yeah, I was thinking today, looking at your list, that pronouns would also, like, I know you couldn't think about doing that joke anywhere other than the first line.
Yeah.
But I think that would be such a good lead into your hair loss joke, like in the middle, where you're talking about being gross. And if you kept that all together in that area.
It really could. Because I especially the way I have it set up now, because I have the Dick Spencery joke, which is about, well, not really about sex change operations, but it touches upon that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, you get pronouns, and then that could fit.
I think it would do good.
Yeah, just the wording of it.
Even if what would be great is you start talking about, all these sex change operations are really in the forefront of talking right now. And let's get this out of the way. My pronouns are he and him. My adjectives are fat and bald. And then go into the rest of the bit.
Oh, let's just add it into the bit. Yeah. I like that.
I think that'd be a cool one. Because in the beginning, you are kind of getting dicey because you're trying to say, like, you're not against sex changes. I know you used to say that. But you're more still sex changes that are weird is kind of your point in that. Where I think that might hammer it home in a way that people are on your side and there's a direction turn and all that. So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Look at us. We're figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we should do an episode of working through a couple jokes. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. Substitute. Help me. I fucking want that joke to work so bad.
Maybe what we can do is I don't know how you feel about this, but maybe we can take like an audio clip of the joke as is, like now, and then play it, and then kind of work through it that way. Like, oh, what do you think about this or that? And then talk about it. And then the second half be the other person's joke, and then
Yeah, that'd be good. I'd like to do that episode. Yeah, I have a joke substitute where I love. It's such a good premise to explain because this is the premise. If you have kids, I don't think you should hit them, but I think somebody should hit them. I love that.
yeah,
I don't know whether the whole rest of that joke needs to change, but that line I know is the key to that whole joke because it always does a nice laugh. It's always no one sees that coming. And then the idea is substitute, like teachers used to be able to hit kids, so we should just, like, my line that I like to use as a segue that has not gotten a laugh yet, but I laugh as I say it every time, is we used to have people who would hit kids. They were called teachers. Laugh. And I say, and then those bitches went crazy, and we decided to throw the bathwater out instead of the baby. And I think that that's such a clever line of saying, like, you should throw the baby out sometimes. But no one gets it or thinks it's funny. So I might not say
I love that line.
It's a good line.
It's got to be a way to word that so it's a little more obvious of what you're saying.
Yes. But anyways, and then I just go into, like, you have to have rules. If you have rules, like a substitute teacher could be the only one to hit a kid because then it's just a couple times a year. If you are an elderly substitute teacher, you should be allowed to kill a kid. And if it's your very first day as a substitute teacher, you have to kill a kid. So that's the skeleton of the joke. But I've been trying to be more conversational, so I've been adding things to them to, like, make stories. Like, during the old lady part, I'm like, man, could you imagine how much the kids would be in line if you dressed that geezer up like the fucking Grim Reaper and you sent her down the hallways looking for fat bullies and she finds one, she's like, fucking you. Like that. I add that in, and then I strangle the mic stand for the substitute teacher who's
I love that. I
first
was
day.
laughing at that as well.
No one else was.
How
But
did
yeah.
that feel? I didn't get a chance to talk about. How did that feel to do that with zero response at all?
Ouch. Yeah. And actually
I was laughing because of how funny your take on that whole thing was, but then there was about 25% of me laughing because I was like, you should definitely do it. Tonight's the night to do it, and nobody was laughing.
Well, it didn't hurt that bad, weirdly, because I knew, like, if I know that there's a good punch coming, there could be silence for a good portion of a bit.
Yep.
And I don't sometimes know where the silence is going to be in a bit, because sometimes there's silence before where I don't think there's going to be, or there's laughs where, like, I have a joke about billboards. And the joke is I was driving down the highway and I saw a billboard that said only you can prevent distracted driving. And it was an electronic billboard, and the next ad was for Hooters. But anyways, so in the beginning of the joke, I saw a billboard that said only you can prevent distracted driving, and I paused. I've been getting laughs during that, just saying that line. I've been getting laughs just at the fact that a billboard said that.
No, it was funny because the billboard is distracting you because you're not paying attention to the road. You're looking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just a point I didn't think would get a laugh, and I thought it was going to be silence, and it did. So this wouldn't bother me if strangling the mic stand didn't get a huge laugh, because I come back afterwards and I go, so 7's a prime number, class, and I move on to the next thing, and that got a good thing.
Back to the billboard thing real quick.
Yeah.
Before I forget it. And we've talked about adding to certain parts of our jokes. What about like a mini rant there? Like, only you can prevent distracted driving. Or like, no, you can. Don't take that shit down. Like, or whatever you want to say. And then the next one was Hooters. All right,
Yeah. There's a little bit of that, because I say, like, that's pretty distracting. Like, I do say that in there. But one thing I was thinking about doing, just because that part usually gets laughs, is just saying, like, acting it out. So saying, like, I saw a billboard on the highway and it said only you can prevent distracted driving, and then pause and go. And then just, like, pretend I'm crashing. But I don't know.
It's got to be like a Smokey the Bear thing there too. Only you can prevent forest fires. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Smokey? Your name's fucking Smokey, dude.
I know it might be funny just to say. Imagine you caught Smokey the Bear lighting the California forest fires. Yeah. So this is the thing about that joke, which I wrote that joke, and I was like, that's a pretty good joke, but maybe it's just for geezers. And when I get old people, I'll break it out, and that's when I do it. And man, it crushes every fucking time I do it. It's such a weird little because there's no edge to it at all. It's just kind of like a wordplay joke, but I haven't done bad with it yet. I haven't got like a silence on it. Like man, sometimes I'll like the substitute teacher joke. Like there's a couple times I've done it where the old lady part gets a good laugh, and then the new substitute teacher who has to kill a kid gets no laugh. And I hate when I'm doing a rule of 3 and the second rule does, like even California sober. Like when I did one time, it was like really only one time, but I did the North Korean transparent part, which is the middle example, and it got a huge laugh. I was like, that's weird. And then I did the San Francisco straight, and everybody's like, huh, yeah. I was like, what the fuck? I guess you just never know. Like at Margaritaville, I did bomb one joke real bad, which was Act of God. So
really? Well, Cape Cod probably.
Yeah, this is the weird thing about it. So I've learned now, because that's a little bit of an edgier joke, and you got like people who are like, oh, these jokes never bomb, aren't doing edgy jokes, and it is what it is. You could just decide not to do them, and you won't have to worry about this. And when you get geezer old crowds, you will do medium fine, and when you get young kids, you will do slightly less than medium fine, but you're never dying. When you do an edgy joke, sometimes you die. Sometimes I really fucking hate it. But that's the risk we take. But anyways, I know this about that joke. So what I do is always giraffe after that joke, because it's a double down. And I know, but it's a double down in almost the opposite direction. Meaning I almost feel like they can't hate both. They've never hated both. They've either liked one, hated the other, because they're kind of dichotomy. Is that right? Shut the fuck up.
I think,
world.
dichotomy. I like that word.
Yeah, right. Dichotomy of that joke. I don't know what I'm saying. But at Margaritaville.
I used the word diatribe earlier, and I don't know if that was the right word to use.
We're stupid.
I'm going to, Jeremy, shoot me a DM. Let me know. Because I might have fucked that up completely. I think dichotomy is correct, though.
Nice. Dichotomy was... I don't remember what I was fucking talking about now. That made me laugh so hard. Oh, yeah, Actor God ate shit. The whole joke, basically, as I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, man, you guys must love a tree fell on my truck type of thing. Laughs. Like, all that's fine. A little bit of the setup in the beginning, explaining the act of God thing, people laughing. Everybody relates to that because a lot of people have heard of it or have it happen to them. But when I started doing the whole, like, jog right past children with hunger and staple to the tree, the whole last punchline, not groans, which I've gotten on it, like, oh, what the hell? Silence. So much, and I let it sit in the silence. I was like, oh. I even said that, I was like, oh, you guys didn't like that one. and somebody was like, no! Because she was 1,000 years old. And I was like, and I always say, when it doesn't go good, I say, listen, you guys got to fucking loosen up. The world is so tight right now, and these are just words. And also... it'd be kind of clutch because the next joke I'm going to say is even more offensive than that. And I start into the next joke. And that always saves me for giraffe because they're primed for... they're like, go ahead, be more offensive than that. And I'm like, it is. It's guaranteed more offensive than that. It totally is.
Yeah, I think there's certain, like, saves for jokes. Like, there's certain ways... you can't have a save for silence... for every joke that's going to work. You know what I mean? Like, like you need something like that that'll get the laugh. The people are just going to get out of their clenched anus mode. You know,
yeah.
Like
20-minute sets too, that I didn't even give a shit. Like I will substitute, take a risk like that in the middle of the set. If they don't like it, you'll get them back. Mm-hmm. Like I do whale jokes for old people anytime. I'm like, I'm in the middle of my set. And I'm like, oh, I'm fucked because I did a couple jokes they hated. Just throw that whole self-deprecating whale joke sloth thing at them. They old geezers.
It's like when I do the chemo connection joke. That either
true, yeah.
that either like people will laugh at Chemo Connection 6 Months to Love, and it's a collective laugh, or they don't. And whenever they don't, I let it sit for a minute and I just go, I'm fucking doing it. And that always gets a laugh. I'm fucking doing it.
It does.
Always gets a laugh. And then I get a laugh on the punch part of it.
Yeah, you won't quit that one, which I respect. I respect the shit out of it.
We don't do enough shows together anymore. I was thinking about that the other day.
Just
I was going to say, we
happens
don't
to
do
be
enough. I really enjoyed doing that showcase the other day with you. It's been a while.
I did too. I was like, thank God I got another show. And to me, you and Jock to close it out, that was nice. You should get on the next one. That we're doing,
I still do a
13th
bunch
next
with Jacques. I do a ton with him.
Yeah, because you're a McHugh's bitch now.
I got one more for McHugh, and that's it. And it's on Friday.
That's it, huh?
I don't have anything else in the books for him now.
I don't have anything besides March 1st. I think it's my last one, too. I had to turn down a couple. But yeah, they're doing the Boston Comedy Festival, so I'm sure they're going to be all wrapped up in that. So, yeah, we should check that out, too. Because that's
well,
cool.
I have... Actually, I was going to say I have equipment now, so I got to let Liam know, just in case I need someone. But real quick aside on my Guitar Center journey, because the last time we talked was my issue with the Guitar Center where I got my excellent condition used Bose L1 that had a giant hole in the side of it. I brought it back.
Yeah,
huge, huge hole. I brought it back to Guitar Center, and the guy opened the bag, and he went, "Oh." And he offered me a decent amount of money back, so I got a pretty decent. I got a discount plus shipping back, which was nice. So I'll find a way to fix the hole. I mean, the thing worked great. I used it at Dan's show, and 100 plus people in the room. Sounded great, filled the room. I was very happy with its performance. Not happy with its appearance, but in my opinion, they made it right. So.
Yeah, stuff full of black socks. That's really all you got to do.
That's all I have is black socks because of work. So
exactly. Yeah, oh man, talk about psycho shit when you see somebody walking down the street with white socks. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, what is it? White socks seem to have gone the way of the dodo, as they say.
Yeah, no one says that. That's under the age of 70, so don't say that again. But damn, man. No, it takes a certain level of confidence to pull off a white anything, really. Like when I see someone wearing like a really nice white t-shirt, I'm like, man, are you just wearing that once? Like what are you going to do when you have to eat something? That shirt's ruined immediately. I've never eaten a single thing without getting it on my shirt.
Does anybody wear like the regular white underwear? What's it called? Tighty Whiteys? Does anybody wear those?
The Breaking Bad with Tighty Whiteys?
Yeah.
He did.
I can't believe they still make those.
They kind of died, I would say 2005. 2005 is the end of those. Because my dad had them up until that time.
I kind of want to buy a pack just to see if, are they more comfortable?
I think they're more comfortable for small penis folks, so.
Perfect.
Perfect, exactly. Those who are shaped like a Ken doll downstairs. It's just fleshy patch of plastic. Is what Wayne has. Well, on that note, I think we did it, right?
We did it.
All right. Well, everybody remember to check out the Louis C.K. joke that we talked about for 5 minutes and a bunch of different times in erratic order. Try to follow what we were talking about. And realize that we are bad comedians.
Yes.
Bye. I think they're more comfortable for small penis folks, so.